Hey Turn of the Millennials listeners! This summer, relive your obsession with the Spice Girls at the Everything 90s podcast, Spice Girls Trivia Night. Test your knowledge of this iconic and beloved girl group on July 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This event will take place on the online platform called hopin.com, and you'll have the chance to win some spicy prizes, including the Spice Girls 25th Anniversary 2-CD music book set and 2 tickets to the 90s experience. So head on over to hopin.com/events/spice-girls-trivia-night to register to get your tickets. Tell a friend and hope to see you there.
Welcome, friends, to another episode of Turn of the Millennials. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Lindy.
And today, since it is June, we are going to be celebrating Pride Month. Oh,
Woo,
yeah.
Pride Month, woo, yeah.
Woo! We here at Turn of the Millennials obviously don't care who you love.
We are allies.
We are allies. We love all of you. We love who you
love,
love.
yo.
Love is love. Don't care. We are going to celebrate that today.
You don't like it? Turn us off.
Turn us off, and you can join us again next week when we're back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, or not, because I'm good with that. I don't like those type of people. If you're those type of people, that's cool. Whatever, go be miserable somewhere else. Yeah.
Anyways.
Love is love. Love is love. Yay, Pride, woo.
Yeah, on that note, as kind of millennials, we kind of had sort of a big kind of forefront
Awakening?
sort of an awakening and movement in our generation
Jinx.
when it came to, like, you know, being more open with the it actually started as LGBT community way back in the day, because we didn't have some of the other ones just come out quite yet, or the representation. We just had the lesbian.
Because we had no idea how fluid the
spectrum was. We were still naive, because our parents they were hidden and everything. Like, if you were gay in those previous generations, you still were kind of hidden. You still weren't necessarily completely out. So with us, we had the lesbian, the gay, bisexual, and transgender. Yes. So those were the 4 that we had originally. Our generation has just seen so much goodness in this respect, which is just so awesome to see.
I love how tolerant and inclusive they're becoming as well. So, and to their parents, thank you.
Well, their parents are kind of us / the Gen Xers.
But that's what I mean, though. Like, it's our generation that kind of started the movement and
taught it onto their children, kept going and showing it onto their children.
Tolerance to their children, that love is love and that everyone is acceptable.
In the other spectrum, a lot of millennials did also open up their parents' eyes, like the boomers, to the fact that I know there's still some that are still a little trepid, or they're just they still don't understand it, but they'll accept it. Kind of like, there's still a lot with the boomers, but it did, because they had kids that were more open to it. It's opened their eyes to become more open to it as well. Yes. So, like, I feel like the Gen X millennial is kind of a really big kind of binder, sort of, to all these generations. We were sort of a forefronter of accepting us all. And that was kind of also, I think, really reflected in our pop culture kind of at the time. Like, we saw in TV shows and movies, we started to see. Now, at first, it was a weird slippery slope, actually, kind of.
It was kind of a trickle in. It was a very slow trickle in.
But at the same time, they would bring them in, but they would have, unfortunately, a lot of times they would suffer at the hands of someone, or like they weren't portrayed still in a healthy, happy light completely.
Yes. They were represented, but not in the best of ways.
Yes. So a lot of people were still sort of scared, because as they were being represented, it was like CSI, they got killed because of hate, racism, crimes. So you still you saw yourself, but then you were seeing yourself getting hurt. So you were still sort of afraid.
So it kind of perpetuated the stereotype and everything of that. If you identify as gay, bi, or transsexual, or any of those other things, that you should keep yourself hidden because terrible things will happen to you. Yes. And that's just so appalling and disgusting to me that it's beyond words.
So We did.
So it's really good to see some positive representation as of late.
Yes, and we did see some in the 90s. We did get 90s and 2000s. We did get to see some very good representation. As we said, like at the very beginning, we were talking about it. I was watching Entertainment Weekly they were doing recent cast reunions of our old shows. So they had a Buffy one and they had a Dawson's Creek one, both of which for the WB had very prominent gay characters. And actually Dawson's Creek was the first of its kind. We were talking about this just before. Jack was the first gay kiss on the WB network with Henry. No, Henry was Michelle Williams. What was his face?
I don't remember. I wasn't a huge Dawson fan. I watched it, but I don't remember it that well.
I can't rember who his first kiss was now that it eludes me. Henry was the one who dated Michelle Williams, and he was.
But I believe the date said that it was June of 2000, or it was October.
Yeah, because Buffy was 2001.
Yeah,
it said Buffy was the season finale of 2001, and that was the
Dawson's Creek one was season 3 season finale, and Buffy was season 5, titled The Body, where Joyce dies.
Oh, okay. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Buffy 25 years later. Sorry, guys.
Oh, God. If you haven't seen it, and I'm sorry that you didn't know that Joyce dies, but she dies. Prepare yourself. It's a really sad episode.
I know. I think that's an episode I actually didn't see. I think I stopped watching it to that one, and then I haven't brought myself to go back to rewatch it because everyone says it's...
Whenever I need a good cry, that's what I watch. But
I do love Once More with Feeling. That's a great episode.
Oh, God. Classic. Fucking, oh, my God.
But again, Buffy brought about Tara and Willow as a lesbian couple as well. So the WB actually brought both.
And then later on, Tara and Kennedy, or Willow and Kennedy.
Yeah. So we did get, so again, we saw a lot of representation, and this is daily. This is not a movie. This is something that people were watching weekly. In your homes. These are people that you knew, characters you loved, and everything.
So before we delve into the pop culture of Pride Month, do we have millennial moments? Do you not have one this time?
No. I didn't until...
How is it? Okay.
I didn't until this morning, actually. So
did something happen at Costco, Stephanie?
No. I was watching music videos beforehand. And I was watching a music video, and they were going into a convenience store, and behind the cashier, it said you cannot buy alcohol unless you are born from 1999. Now, this video was also filmed in 2020, sorry. But it says if you are not 19 years or older, or born in 1999 or over, you can't buy alcohol. And that hit me hard because that's the year I went into grade 9. And I was like, and there was a girl in my grade 9 gym class who actually did have a child. And that child is now, well, at that time was 21. They're now clearly 23. And that just, it hit a lot this morning. So 23 years
kind
ago.
Kind of causes like a ball in your chest, doesn't it?
It does. It's kind of like, whew, that hurts. And like, I don't look like I am about these ages or anything. I don't feel like I'm this age. I don't feel like I should have something 22 years ago. But guess what? This is where we're at. And this is our millennial moment for me today. Do you have a millennial moment for this week?
Okay. So this one, so I was in the locker room at work the other day, and I was talking to like a bunch of girls from the shift, and we were talking about ages and things like that, right? I'm going to be 39 on July 1st.
Like 18 days at the time of this recording.
The only reason I can't wait for July 1st is because of the next Stranger Things. I don't even care about my fucking birthday. Yep, I fucking said it. Don't care.
For the first time ever in Lindy's life, she does not care about her birthday.
That celebrates her birthday for a full fucking week. Like, I am the most important person on the planet during that entire week. Fuck everyone else. I used to be that girl. Now I'm like, nope, this is my last birthday I'm ever having. I'm never turning 40. Anyway, so we're in the locker room and we're talking about things like how far back we remember things, what our first memories were and things like that. And I just happened to mention this series premiere of The Simpsons. And this girl who is 33, she goes, wait, she's like, how much of the 80s do you remember? And I was just like a few years of them. Why? She's like, when were you? She's like, how old are you? I was like, I'm going to be 39 in a few weeks. She goes, like, you should, her face fell. She had no fucking clue. She thought I was like her age or even younger.
Oh yeah.
Me. And I was like, yeah, I remember when The Simpsons first aired, like, and how much my mom yelled at my dad for letting us watch it because it was so bad. And now look at it.
I went to like two weddings the last 2 weekends, and oh my gosh, like same thing. People are like, "You're not 37." I was like, "Yeah, I am, and I love it every day."
And then I threw in the extra special tidbit that I also remember the series premiere of Full House. Like,
right.
I remember watching it for the first time. She's just like, "Oh my god, I didn't think you were that old." I'm just like, "Who the fuck are you calling old?"
Right.
Couldn't keep a straight face to save my life, but yeah, I'm like the oldest one in our friend group at work. Well, no, that's not true. Carrie's older than me. She's like 42, but still.
Yeah, this is.
But oh my god. And then, okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I have 2 millennial moments because this one happened too, and I have to fucking tell you about it because I cannot fucking believe it. So Morgan at my work, she's 10 years younger than me, okay? So we were talking about something at work or whatever, and we were joking around and being funny and stuff. And then all of a sudden, she goes, I did something, and for some stupid reason, I did the Molly Shannon superstar thing, Mary Catherine Gallagher. I was like, sometimes when I get nervous, I stick my fingers in my armpits and I smell them like that. And then I go, superstar. And she looked at me like I had 4 heads. And I'm like, Molly Shannon?
Like
Mary Catherine Gallagher?
The movie came out in like 98, 99, I think.
This is the difference. She would have been 6. There's no way her parents would have let her fucking watch it. And I'm like, see, that's the difference. Wow. She was 6, I was 16. So that 10 years at that age, huge difference. 10 years in as an adult, not big a difference. So you always forget how much younger your friends are than you as you get older, right? So I'm just like, oh my god, I'm just so fucking old.
The concept of time and age becomes relative as you get older. You're like, oh yeah, you're the same age as me, and then you find out they're like 10 years older than you, and you're like, oh.
Like
never mind.
He's like 11 years younger than me, and I'm flabbergasted because I'm just like, I'm just as immature as the rest of these people. I definitely don't act almost 40.
No, but then I also at these weddings, I also realized it's really just the person and the people in the persona.
That's true, because I 100% am myself in public. I don't give a shit what people think of me. I will break out and fucking crunk in the middle of a fucking ball. I don't care. Right. I'm whatever. Be you.
Yeah.
Like, it may be childish, but it's fucking fun. You should try it sometime. Like, fucking unclench. Speaking of being oneself, Pride.
Yeah, Pride Month. I believe actually when we were kids, it was just a Pride week, I think at the end of like June or the middle to end of June. And then it became Pride Month later on, I believe. I don't think it was if I remember correctly, I don't think it was a full month originally.
I think you're right.
I think it was just a week. And then they eventually made it into a month.
Yeah, I do remember Pride Week because I remember back in 2009, in our hometown, we had a tri-pride kind of like weekend during Pride Week. Mm-hmm. I believe it was.
Yeah, and I remember when
my dad's company was a part of it, and he would run the booth and stuff.
And just after I graduated, I was working at Nordia, and I went with one of the girls I worked with there to Pride in Toronto the one time. And I'm pretty sure it was just the Pride Parade. I'm pretty sure it was just like the week at that point.
Yeah, because like I had a picture of me and my family at the Pride festivities.
Yeah,
pop up on my Facebook like just I think yesterday in my memories.
So that's what I mean. Like I think it was like maybe the middle of the month or something like that. Yeah. Middle to end.
But I remember the Pride Parade. Wasn't the Pride Parade always like July 1st?
No, the weekend before July 1st.
But didn't the Toronto mayor get a lot of shit for not going? I remember him getting a lot of shit for not going because he would go camping with his family every July 1st long weekend, and that's when Pride Weekend would always land on.
I thought they always did it the weekend before because they didn't want to confuse with Canada Day or whatever, so they do it the weekend before.
I don't know. It's been something I probably should have looked up before we started this, but
something
whatever.
We could have, but that's okay. Either way,
I could have done any kind of research on this, and I didn't.
For as long as forever, June has been Pride celebrations that we remember. So whether it's gone, and if we've gone from a week to a month, even better for us. Yay!
Yes.
So that's all that matters is what the purpose of our statement really is there.
In the 90s, there was a lot more awareness about the LGBT community. Things started to become more.
Yes. So we know we know in the 80s we had the big AIDS awareness. Like that was really what kind of, I think, through the LGBT,
especially with Live Aid, right?
Yeah, that really put the community out there and kind of on a radar. And then was it 91? I think Live Aid was.
Well, because they mostly saw AIDS as a disease amongst homosexuality.
Yeah,
and it's not, obviously.
People were then getting it through like blood transfusions and other things, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they figured out they were wrong. Yay
Yep.
for them. And the AIDS awareness program of the Red Ribbon came out. Was that strictly just MAD? Or was that separate from MAD and then it joined?
I think it joined because MAD was Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. So I think it was.
Yeah, but I always thought it was their organization that started the Red Ribbon program.
Was it?
Because I remember having a red ribbon tied on our car for the longest time and it said MAD on it. And that was like, I was young, like single digit young.
Red Ribbon Project.
Because 90, you have it right here, 91.
So,
and
Visual AIDS or MAD Canada? So yes, I think in Canada it was run through MAD. Looks like it shows here.
Yeah, good job, MAD. I love that they're still going. They're still
sober.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's about driving sober and the impacts of driving high. So it doesn't actually say. So the one about AIDS, the Red Ribbon Project, just says Visual AIDS, is what the project is. Group of artists came together to create a meaningful symbol at the height of the AIDS crisis to show support and compassion for those with AIDS and their caregivers. These artists were part of the Visual AIDS Artists Caucus, and what they created was titled Red Ribbon Project, better known today as simply the Red Ribbon. Yeah, so it's just its own kind of company or organization.
So anyway.
1993, the U.S. military instituted the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, so you can't ask orientation, and forbids the homosexual act.
Yeah, it's still wrong to be out in the military at this point.
In this point, it's still wrong to be out in the military, which is still there. Yeah. But the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, I don't think is there anymore. But
no, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say, like, you can be out in the military now. Pretty sure you can.
I think so.
If you can't, that's atrocious.
Right. And that's also in the U.S. I don't know. I think in Canada it's different. Yeah. I think it's different in Canada because we're a little bit more.
I would hope it is. I
feel like it is. April 2000, Vermont first state to legalize civil unions and registered partnerships between same-sex couples. Yay! Because like we said, love is love, and you can marry whoever the hell you want. Like, why does it have to be between a man and a woman? Because a lot of the times those ones end up in divorce, and I've seen some happy, very, very happy, gay couples, and that last forever. It's all just love. You can be a gay couple, get divorced. You can be a straight couple, get divorced. You can stay in together forever. Love is love. Let us all get married and let us all enjoy a bridal wedding day.
Okay, then. And then only 4 short years later, Massachusetts followed through, as well as New Hampshire.
Vermont,
but that was
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Iowa,
and DC. That's Iowa and DC. The education system up here against the U.S. states is really phenomenal. I only just found out now, or like yesterday, that Colorado is not actually more north than it is. I don't look at the maps.
It's like right above New Mexico, I think.
No, I know that. Like, I know that now, but I thought it was like a state that was like not on the border of Canada, but like below one of those states. But it's not. I apologize for my nation-ness. I was never geographically inclined.
Tisk. Montana's the one that's under our state, right under us.
This is why I'm one of those people that asks for directions by landmarks.
And so
I'm not good with east, north, south, or west.
Moral of the story is I'm okay with geography, and that's why me and Lindy work. I get her where she needs to go. That's how it works.
Anyway.
1997, Ellen came out on her TV show, which was also a huge, big break for the gay community at the time on TV as well, which was also just before the Dawson's Creek. So I think she was actually the very, very first character ever on TV to come out. And then they made a big deal of it in the TV guides and stuff like that. And it was good on her for coming out, though, and being in the kind of forefront of that one. And then 1992 was the release of Supermodel by RuPaul. You better work, cover girl. Work it, girl. So that one came out. So that kind of put like sort of a face to sort of a little bit of the trans sort of community a bit. Because RuPaul, he was cross-dressed for trans, drag superstar now is what we call her. Back then, they kind of just thought of her as a trans person because, again, we didn't really We didn't know kind of the difference. Drag queens, a lot of people thought drag queens and trans were kind of the exact same, but we now know that that's not the case.
Including myself, but I educated myself and I learned, and now I know better.
Right, exactly. As long as you're willing to learn, we don't care what you've thought in the past. It's all about learning and progressing and going forward, guys.
Yep. And I'm still learning about it, and I'm still.
Me too, every day. Every day.
Love is fluid and everything, and gender is fluid and all that. It's, yeah.
At my work, I was
part of guys, but it's not black and white.
At my work, I was part of they had a pride resource group at work, and there was a couple of trans folks that I had met there, and you just learn, and you're like, I'm sorry if I you don't say anything, but you're just like, I need to learn things, and they're as long as it's not too bad, they're okay with educating, because that's it. They want to they want to be accepted, and they want you to know. So, and I'm glad for them for letting me know and ask those questions, and
to be open about it.
Exactly, and learn. 2003, we had the Britney, Christina, and Madonna kiss. Although most people just put it as the Britney Madonna kiss, but Christina was also part of that, y'all.
I actually just Google searched like the first homosexual kiss on TV in history. Yep. And apparently it's the first lesbian kiss on television, or first homosexual kiss on television, was on LA Law in 1991. So good for them.
Well, them.
Yeah. Sorry, I just thought I'd throw that out there. But anyway, so Christina, Britney, and Madonna, go.
Yeah. So we kind of had I found in the late 90s, 2000s, lesbian sort of was kind of a commodity, sort of. If you want to call it like Wild Things, because it's the next thing on my list was Wild Things with Nev Campbell and Denise Richard. And again, even just the Britney, Madonna, Christina thing, like that. Unfortunately, like when it became homosexual males, no one really gave a shit. It was still sort of meh. But at the time, unfortunately, like guys were just like, ooh, two girls kissing. And then unfortunately at that time, you got more seen, but you were commodified to be, as they would say, quote unquote, lipstick lesbians or pretty lesbians, or girls who aren't even lesbians, or just straight to pretending to be lesbian to get attention. And it was not right. It was not a good time for our society.
First, I want to mention how much I hope the term bi-curious is no longer used. I really hope that's no longer used, because that was just an awful fucking term.
Yeah.
And
I forgot about that.
How most people consider gay girl, like lesbians is fine, but gay men is not fine.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I mean. Like
I've heard a lot of really ignorant men, and like none that I'm friends with, none that are in my life, because
through the Facebook worlds and the groups that you happen to see,
you hear men say like, oh, I'll be fine if my daughter turns out to be a lesbian, but if my son is gay, I'm gonna disown him. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. First F-bomb of the episode. How long did that take?
At least 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, not too bad. Good. You're progressing. No. I mean, when an F-bomb is warranted, it's warranted. So you can't deny it.
But yeah, there's still a lot of education that we can give out there, and a lot of learning still left to do for the world. But
yeah, and even if it's
little baby steps progress, we're getting there.
Yes. And then even in 1991, Levi Strauss supported gay pride, and they have participated in the Pride Parade, because they're from San Francisco, since 1991. Yep. So they've been a supporter and out there with them for forever. Now, throughout kind of our time, we did sort of have, like I said, there's a lot of pop culture. So there was actually, we kind of went through and found quite a bit of movies that sort of touched on, whether completely with the characters or had some kind of sort of touching with it. I remember the first one that I can really, really remember watching, I guess, it was a made-for-TV movie called If These Walls Could Talk 2. They had an original one early in the 90s that was about women, and I think, was it abortions or like having babies or something like that? And then the second one was all about gay women. So it was over three different couples over different decades. So there was a couple from 1961, and they follow them. Then there's a bunch of girls from 1972 at college. So, the college lesbians and stuff. And then in the 2000s, because it's actually 2000 was when this was released. So then it's like Sharon Stone and Ellen DeGeneres, and they're a gay couple in 2000 trying to have a baby.
Okay.
And it's actually on, I think I found it on YouTube. So you should actually go back and watch it. It's actually very interesting, because it does show you, like, in 1961, it was this gay couple. They had spent their whole entire existence together. And then the one, she's she's out looking at a bird or whatever, and she's on a ladder, and they think she might have had a stroke and fell off the ladder, and she passed away.
Oh.
And unfortunately, they've lived together, but the house was in her name. So her son comes and he's like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna sell this, we're gonna do that," and she's like, "Don't touch this. Like, this is." So because because they couldn't have legal rights
as her partner.
She had no rights. They were friends. They weren't even partners. They were friends.
Yep.
They kept calling her friend. But because in the 60s, you weren't really allowed to come out. So and they were an older couple too as well. So it just makes it, so they've been together forever. And it just makes it so so
sad.
That one, so heartbreaking. 70s, it's kind of, again, the girls in college and they're.
The time of free love.
But at the same time, in the 70s, it was actually about, there was feminist groups going on in the college, and they didn't want the lesbians kind of part of it because they thought that their feminist was all about the lesbian agenda instead of just being feminists. There was that line of, oh, feminists are lesbians are feminists, that whole thing.
And then distinguish between the two, apparently.
Right. And then also, even within the community, which I found fun to note, is that they go, Michelle Williams is in this one. She goes to a gay bar with her friends and everything. And then Chloe Sevigny is in this one, and she plays kind of more of like a sort of butch type lesbian. So she's wearing she's got the shorter hair. She's got it like kind of like a suit type thing on.
More of the masculine type.
Yeah. Quote unquote. The more masculine type lesbian. So they're all, and even them are kind of like, oh, why would you want to go with them? Like, why? And Michelle Williams is like, seems kind of intrigued by this person, like sees kind of more for the soul and the heart of the person versus what's on the outside. But yet her friends, even her friends as lesbians, have a hate on for this lesbian who looks more like a man. They're like, why would you just want to date someone who looks like a man if you're like, and so even now when you're watching it at this perspective, to think like even that hate within in each other was almost going
through,
right, within their own communities going on. And then obviously in the 2000s, fertility with gay couples, because it's
or even adopting and like things like that.
Exactly. Trying to have, now that you're able to be open and have a relationship, this is the next steps, is starting families in those relationships, because you're allowed to be out and open in the community. So it's a very interesting contrast where they do it over those decades.
The first LGBT movie that I remember ever like impacting me and my thought process is Boys Don't Cry.
Yeah.
Hilary Swank in that movie was phenomenal.
Well, there's a reason she won an Oscar for it.
Like, was it that? I thought she won it for.
Or was it $1 Million Baby? I thought it
was $1 Million Baby.
Maybe the movie itself won.
That
I just remember like that one was so like hyped and so like it was so accoladed at the time that I thought it might. I thought it did.
She won an Oscar for both.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she won for both. Thank God, goodness, because Boys Don't Cry, one of her best performances. That, like,
and is that one based off of a real story too? Okay, that's what I thought as well. Yeah,
I can't watch that movie. I could not watch that movie again. Yeah. I watched it one time, and that was all it needed. Like, one time was enough, because it was kind of traumatizing for me to know that
there are people out there, and those people can go through.
Yeah, like, it's atrocious what, just because of you want to be who you feel you are, that you deserve to get beaten up and like that for it.
Well, first had to hide completely the fact of being a girl to try to just be themselves as a man. And then when people found out that it wasn't really a man, it was a girl, then just destroy, unfortunately, them.
The movie is based on the tragic true story of Brandon Tina, a 20-year-old Nebraska trans man who was raped and murdered in 1993. His death was the subject of salacious headlines, and it galvanized a small group of trans people to witness the trial and claim him as one of their own. It also is reminiscent of the Matthew Shepard case.
Actually, years later. So Matthew Shepard would have been reminiscent of this one.
Yes. Okay, sorry, that's what I meant. That's whatever.
Because that one was 98 we were looking. And I think you said it was in Middle America as well, too. Matthew Shepard was also Middle America.
He was kidnapped, I believe, by some of his peers from high school because he wanted to bring his boyfriend to prom. I remember seeing a TV movie about this starring, I believe it was Sean Astin. Is that the right guy from X-Men, or his twin brother, one of them? Ashmore.
Oh, Ashmore. Okay. Yeah.
Ashmore.
Sean Astin was the one you had his obsession with.
That's because we were just talking about it, and I said
Ashton. That's why I was like, how did you say Astin? You should know that one, Lindy. Anyways, Ashmore.
Anyway, he wanted to bring his boyfriend to prom, and so he was kidnapped, I believe, by some of his peers from school, from the football team or something. I look it up. And he was basically tortured and left tied to a fence to die. And I don't think he was found for a few days. And basically that kind of didn't start the Pride movement, but it added a huge leap to the movement.
There's also, because we talked about, this one was one we usually donated to a lot, was the Trevor Project. A 13-year-old boy who, when rejected by friends because of his sexuality, makes an attempt to take his life. And that one was in 1994. It was a movie. It's called The Trevor Project. That was...
Okay, so I was wrong.
Okay.
It was not high school. He was in university. Maybe I was thinking of a different, because I do remember a TV show movie about a gay kid who wanted to take his boyfriend to prom, and that basically happened to him. I don't believe he died in it, but yeah, that's another atrocious true story based movie about that. But this one, he was a university student at Wyoming. He was 21 years old.
Yeah, Wyoming. And so that's what I said, they're middle America. Yeah. And unfortunately, middle America, not very open-minded, like the East or West Coast kind of sort of are. Yeah. So some other movies that I just kind of sort of remember that were sort of released in our time.
To lighten the topic up a little bit.
Right? To lighten our topic up a bit. We had But I'm a Cheerleader with Natasha Lyonne.
Which I had on my list forever, and now it's not even on Netflix anymore.
I know. I was trying to find and watch it. I really wanted to watch it before doing this one, and I was like, I had to pay for it on YouTube. I had to pay for it on Crave. It wasn't on anything, so I was trying, guys. Strike or All I Want to Do.
I love that movie.
No, I mean, like, it doesn't really have like a full on. I don't think a gay like represent full on the screen, but there's definitely lots of undertones and kind of like girls kind of discovering that part of themselves at that age.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's very much that. Chasing Amy, which I remember watching with Katie in her mom's basement with her sister.
Which is very shocking because I love Kevin Smith movies. I have it. I just never watched it.
I remember watching that one with her. So I guess maybe that was the first movie I watched with lesbians because that was 98 or 99, I think. And then If These Walls Could Talk for 2 was 2000. Because I don't think I saw this one till later. The Birdcage with Nathan Lane and Robin Williams. I love this. I went back and watched it recently. I love it. I still do. They are amazing. Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, just because he's, I think, I don't know, is he actually straight or gay? I've never, because if he just
keep track of like celebrities' lives, it really is.
And not only that, he just plays such a gay man so great. And I know he's been on Broadway, and I know he's very much an ally to the community, so that's why I'm not sure if he is.
He came out publicly in 99 after the killing of Matthew Shepard.
Okay, perfect. There we go. So he is actually. Yes. Because he still plays some straight characters sometimes and plays them so well.
He's so fucking talented. He's so
right.
good.
I love Nathan Lane. Amazing. So we had Philadelphia, which had come out obviously regarding the whole entire AIDS crisis with Tom Hanks.
Also based on a true story.
Yep, I believe he actually won his Oscar for that one.
Got a lawyer who got fired because he
was gay and got AIDS.
Because he had AIDS,
or was HIV positive or something.
I feel like Google all of this.
I know. I remember seeing these, but they were a long time ago that I watched a lot of these. And I didn't have that much time to go back and rewatch all of them.
So fearing it would compromise his career, lawyer Andrew Beckett hides his homosexuality and HIV status at a powerful Philadelphia law firm. But his secret is exposed when a colleague spots the illness's telltale lesions. Fired shortly afterwards, Beckett resolves to sue for discrimination. I don't think I ever watched that movie, but because I'm not a huge fan of sad movies, and I knew that was just going to be a really sad movie.
I watched it like back at the like kind of in that time when it was out, just because it was
parts of it. Like I've seen the important parts of it. Like I've seen the courtroom scene.
Yeah,
I've
Denzel.
I've seen the very end where he unfortunately, spoiler alert, dies. But yeah, like I don't think I've seen the movie in its entirety.
We also had Brokeback Mountain, which obviously got.
Never seen it.
I've never seen it either, but we know it's the big movie at the time that had lots of the gay cowboy stereotype, as they kind of brought it out back then.
I think I avoided this movie because I'm not a fan of Michelle Williams, but seeing her in The Greatest Showman kind of cleared my like for her a little bit.
I think it was just all of the hype that was around it that I was just like, okay, I'm gonna hold off on that one and maybe watch it later, and then I just never went back to revisit it.
It was just overrated.
Like, I felt like it might have been overrated, and I didn't want to disappoint it. Like
it was everywhere.
Yeah, everyone talking about it everywhere. Everyone making fun of it or parroting it, and it just
literally like the day after it fucking premiered or came out or whatever. It like spoilers everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was like, what was the point of even watching it if you already fucking knew what happened?
So yeah, kind of. But it would be, I guess it would still be nice to go back and revisit just to kind of see it and appreciate what it is, I guess, now under different views.
I'm not interested. I'm not a fan of like sensitive movies. And I don't mean that because of its topic. Like, I'm not a chick flick kind of person, not a drama kind of person. Give me action, give me comedy, give me zombies. That's me. Like, I'm not.
Lindy has no emotional depth. That's all you need to learn.
I have emotional depth. I just choose to avoid the sadness and the dramatic and like the drawn out scenes and stuff. Like, I'm over it.
It depends. It really there's it depends. There's some movies where I'm like, I'm not watching that, but then sometimes it's like, that's just a good love story, so I'm gonna watch it anyways.
So what's the next movie on your list?
She's the Man, which is a rom-com.
I don't fucking like that. Stupid movie. I'm sorry. Stupid movie.
Well, it's basically it's cross-dressing,
sorry,
so it does
Shalina,
sort of have the undertones of also.
Yes, it does, but it's still a stupid movie.
Are you denying Shakespeare? How dare you?
Hers, but I just don't see the fucking deal.
It's Shakespeare. How dare you? No, I don't know. It's not one of the.
Yes, I don't care.
What a Girl Wants is my favorite of hers, so you're not offending me on it.
I love that one.
That one is like my ultimate favorite of hers.
I love that one.
Ultimate favorite of hers. The next one is The Broken Hearts Club. Now, I vaguely remember this one, but I did remember watching it. So it's like a romantic comedy about gay characters. They actually, I think they work at a bar. Yeah, gay friends in West Hollywood centered on a restaurant owned by Fatherly Jack and his softball team he sponsors. And each of them is like, it's like basically it's his gay football team or baseball team, sorry. And it's their kind of story. So it had like Zach Braff, Dean Cain, Andrew Keegan, Nia Long, Mary McCormick, Timothy Oliphant, Justin Theroux, back before his Jennifer Aniston days. I remember seeing it back in those days because I was like one of those times where like, anything with like those teen heartthrobs you'd try to sort of watch. It was actually I remembered it wasn't too bad. Blow Dry with Alan Rickman and Josh Hartnett
and Natasha Richardson.
Yes.
R.I.P.
Yep.
Now Blow Dry. Oh, and Rachel Lee Cook.
Yes.
Blow Dry is
so good.
A severely underrated. So good. I fucking love this movie so much. Alan Rickman was phenomenal in it.
Phenomenal. He's
Richardson and whoever was that played her partner, whatever her name is. I know she's in a ton of stuff, but she was so good too. And Josh Hartnett, like, he was heartthrob at the time. So
he was so hot at the time.
The part where like Rachel Lee Cook is telling him that she practiced her coloring and like all the multicolored sheep come waddling through the fucking trough of like the trench.
Yeah.
Oh, such a great scene.
And I love just Alan Rickman and the love that he still has for his wife. And like, even though she left him
for
a woman and then she ends up being sick later on. Spoiler alert, being sick later on. Like, just because they still have this son, and you can still tell that like he's like, I understand you didn't leave me for being for whatever you needed to be happy. Like, it was just it just showed that you can still have like that kind of relationship even though you might have had I thought of it, you were a different person before.
I think it's the fact that like, because him and his wife, like him and Natasha Richardson's characters, like were married and they were hairdressers, and she ran away with the model, basically. But how about that finale where she came out
the hair and the
tattoo on her head?
Well, because he even says, "Do you still have the tattoo?" And she's like, "Well, it's a little faded, but
so good."
Imagine doing that. Imagine going that in for a hair, which is funny because the girl who's the studio that does mine does hair competitions. So every time they post it, that's all I think about is this movie. All I think about, and I'm just like, man, like, imagine like a model doing that, putting that kind of tattoo in dedication nowadays.
I immediately think about the scissor tattoo on the bottom of his foot. That's what I think about.
Scissor tattoo, yep. Right. Alan Rickman, we love you.
Is that the one with Charlize Theron?
Yes.
And Christina Ricci?
Yep.
That one I only saw it once, and it was a very long time ago, so I don't really remember it, but I remember being amazed by it.
Yeah.
I remember it being really well done.
I think she also won an Oscar for it too.
Phenomenal. I think she did.
I think so.
I think she like put 30 pounds on for that role.
Didn't wear like any makeup and
shower
just
for like a month.
Yep.
Oh,
she fucking went dirty.
Talk about like method acting. Like I couldn't.
Won Best Actress for Monster, 2009. Yeah.
And then the next one, Rules of Attraction.
Yes.
What a fucked up movie.
Oh my God.
Fucked up movie.
So messed up.
I remember seeing this movie for the first time. I'm pretty sure I watched it with Catherine. And we're sitting there watching it. And as it like unrolls and progresses, we're just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is going on? Hey, look, there's Eric Spanda. But then I'm just like, what the fuck is he doing? What is going on? How is this happening? What did she just say? I'm just like, it's one mind fuck after another.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember that. It's been a while since I'll have to go back. And it jumps around too as well.
Very opposite Dawson's
because this was post Dawson's Creek where he wanted to get out of that and he was doing very different roles at the time.
And this was at the peak of Shannon Sossaman's kind of popularity.
Career, with like
and then she kind of dropped off. Yeah, 40 Virgin or 40
well, if you make enough money to sustain yourself for like whatever, who cares? Why not?
Yeah,
I would too. And then so next we had Party Monster, which was Macaulay Culkin and Seth Green, where it was about.
See it, but I haven't had an opportunity to.
Oh, it's so good. James St. James, the club kid in New York. So it's actually based on kind of a true story as well. So good. Seth Green. Oh, love him. Just so extra in it. So extra. It's great. 13 with
great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
What was Brother to Brother? Saved. You remember Saved?
I love Saved.
Yes. I'm like, how does Lindy not saying anything about Saved? I know she loves Saved.
This movie is I fucking love Ava Amari. I love Macaulay Culkin in this movie. I love Mandy Moore in this movie.
Right.
Like Jenna Malone in this movie is phenomenal. Mary Louise Parker is amazing. There's just nothing bad to say about this movie.
Yeah.
It depicts it so well what this movie is about. And it's basically how what I think it's about, the way I perceive it, is that religion can basically take you one of two ways.
Yeah.
One where it tries to oppress and one where it's free thinking and tolerant.
Right.
And I love there's like where she throws the Bible at her. She's like, did you just throw the Bible at me? This is not a weapon. I think that's probably the best line in the entire movie because it is so true. The Bible is used as a weapon.
The muffin shop is closed. That's the best line. Then the Bible is a weapon.
All right, we'll go with second best line.
Sorry, that one I just remember. It's so funny. So good.
Especially to impress the LGBT community. They use the Bible so fucking much. And
I agree.
It would shock them to know that Jesus accepts everybody. And for those of you that are trying to oppress and hate on those who are different from you because of who they love and who they are and how they identify, the gates of hell are going to be very welcoming to you.
Right.
Enjoy burning in eternity. Just saying.
Because all of our gay friends are going to be up in heaven having a grand old party with us.
Sorry, God and Jesus are not going to want to fucking do anything to do with you guys.
We're going to be up in the gay disco up with Jesus.
I am calling that out. I am brave enough to say that.
So next we have, which I actually want to see this one. I didn't know about this one. Brother to Brother, because this one is actually interesting. I didn't know it. It's actually, it's about a would-be painter struggling to find his voice and his identity as a Black gay man.
Say that word one more time.
Identity?
Yes. Okay.
I know my voice was getting because I was reading.
You said identity.
I know. Because I was looking at artist and reading ahead at the same time. That's my brain can do that. It's fun. So yeah, that would be an interesting one to see, seeing like the Black gay man's perspective in a movie, because we really don't see that.
Another
unrepresented group completely. So, and Anthony Mackie is in that one. So in case anyone else needs a face to go along with it, who else is in it? Actually, I don't know many of these names, but that's okay. Dwayne Bout, Lawrence Gillard Jr., Roger Robinson, Ford, Oni Feda Lampley. Yeah. So then, like you said, Kinky Boots, which was based off of a Broadway musical first, and then
I've only ever heard about because of Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, and then we looked it up, and it's about
it sounds interesting.
Yeah, about a guy who inherits his dad's shoe factory, doesn't want to do it, but then meets a drag superstar and decides to make kinky boots.
Yeah.
So sexy boots for them. Then we have
Rent. How can you not mention Rent, right?
Like another musical. So again, musicals are kind of where it is because the gay community loves it's all about musicals for the gay community, and that's almost kind of, I finding like very safe space, I think, for them growing up. It was like being in musicals or just in that whole the drama community.
I think theater people are more or less extremely welcoming and tolerant of others, because I feel like being drawn to drama and theater, they may have probably, a lot of them or most of them have gotten made fun of growing up, being in the theater and stuff. Like in our own high school experiences, it's like, oh, it's the drama kids. Like it's a stereotype and it's wrong.
I don't really remember drama kids.
Those are the kind of kids you should make friends with.
Yeah, I don't really remember drama kids. I just remember there was drama class and everyone wanted to take drama class at school. Like it was
super
elective.
fun.
It was the easy elective that everyone I didn't actually take it.
Mr. Rouse made it so much fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never took it.
We constantly played games. It was great.
Then we have Transamerica. That one I believe is the one with
I think the rest of these movies I don't think I've ever seen.
What's his face? Jeffrey Tam. No, hold on. Nope.
Yes. Felicity Huffman.
That one, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. I
remember hearing about that. Yes.
Yes. So there's that one.
You know, before she went to jail for bribing colleges.
Yeah. So it's not. Okay. I'm thinking of a different one. So there is one with Jeffrey Tambor where he is a transgender, but it's a different one. This Transamerica is the one with Felicity Huffman and Kevin Zegers, where she is playing, I believe, a trans.
Kevin Zegers is from Woodstock, by the way. Did you know that?
Yes, he is from Canada. Woohoo, Canada.
Huge crush on him when I was probably like 13, 14, around there. Fuck yeah. Oh, I was just like, oh my God, he lives like an hour away from me.
Yay! So then we had 54 with Ryan Felipe, about Club 54, and the owner was gay himself.
Never seen it.
No? Oh, it's actually pretty good. Mike Myers plays the dude. The club owner.
And I also have never seen Boogie Nights either.
I've never seen Boogie Nights.
I should probably watch it.
I agree. Like Boogie Nights is one I've never seen, and I should probably see it.
I think I never watched it because I just didn't really care about the story. But now I feel like it would be really intriguing to see. And based on the things that I've heard about it, I feel like it's probably up there, my type of movie.
And so that's one of the things I find now.
Unless it's dramatic, then I don't.
Yeah, I find one of the things now is that like when we were kids, because we were at that weird like 97, 98, we were at a weird age range where we were like 12, 13, where we understood things, but you know, like we were at that age where we understood things, but we didn't understand it completely like we do now. So I feel like watching
it better. I feel like you understand it better once you've experienced things.
Yes. You can. So I feel like at the time we watched these movies and we didn't think anything of them, but if we go back and watch them now, we definitely have some different perspectives on them.
Like I kind of want to go back and watch old episodes of Beavis and Butthead because there's a new Beavis and Butthead movie coming out. So excited. And because I never really watched it when I was that age, because I was at that awkward age of like maybe 12, 13 where like I didn't get half the jokes. I thought it was really stupid. Now I feel like it's probably right up my fucking alley.
Right. Next we have In and Out was with Kevin Kline, where he's a Midwestern teacher questions his sexuality after a former comment makes a comment at his Oscars or something. Oh, so yeah, Kevin Kline. I remember that one vaguely.
I remember seeing it only one time, so I don't really remember a lot about it.
Yeah. So then we've got Boys on the Side, which was Drew Barrymore, Whoopi, and Mary Louise Parker. Yep.
I remember seeing that. I remember really liking that movie. I thought it was pretty good.
Right.
I remember some sort of car scene and a scene at the bar.
I think they're actually going on I think it's a car ride is what they're doing, because I think I remember them driving in the boat.
I thought they were going away. Like I thought they were just going on a vacation together before
something like that. They all have I think they all have something. After breaking up with her girlfriend, a nightclub singer, Whoopi Jane, answers a personal ad from Robin, a real estate agent with AIDS, seeking a cross-country travel partner. On their journey, the two stop by Pittsburgh and pick up Robin's friend, Drew Barrymore, who is trying to escape an abusive relationship. And then they overcome their differences to help one another.
Yes, because Drew Barrymore and her boyfriend have a fight by the vehicle or something like that. I remember something.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time.
And then we have Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. Now this one, so good, such a good movie. Again, it kind of came out, it showed, just so much depth. Hold on, there's actually, where is it? Oh, you bastard photos. So I saw actually this.
Do you know how I feel like if this movie was attempted to come out now, there would be an uproar about it not being real drag queens?
Yes, there would be. Agreed.
I think at the time, with what we knew, I think it was well done.
Oh, where is it? This is gonna bug me. So there's actually a post I saw the other day, and I'm trying to save it, or I'm trying to find it here.
Look at those legs. I mean, look at those.
Yeah.
Damn, Patrick Swayze, you sexy.
Is it the screen? Is it under my screenshots, or did I download it? I think I downloaded it. Hold on. Of course, I can't find it. But basically, it was a photo that was saying about basically how, at the time, how, like, if you notice the way that the characters are represented, kind of John Leguizamo character and Wesley Snipes characters are kind of more of like a fun drag queen or whatever. And then when you look at Patrick Swayze's character, basically what the post was saying is that Patrick Swayze can go from this like rough and tumble, you know, roadhouse guy to being this character, and that he went like, and when you watch it, there's the very beginning scene where she's getting herself dressed, like where like the Miss, oh, what was her name? Miss Vida? Yeah, Miss Vida is getting ready. And like she sees herself as like a man in the mirror, and you just see her face kind of like not her, and then like she's seeing herself, and then all of a sudden and you just see like the eyes glowing as she's her woman. And yeah. the fact that Patrick Stewart can portray that, and even in this post, it even says like, oh, back in the, like, nowadays you could never do that, but back in this time, this was actually a very important step for the whole society, because of the fact that someone so Roadhouse like Patrick Stewart is a
Swayze,
Patrick Swayze, not Patrick Stewart. Yeah, sorry, Patrick Swayze.
Yeah. Okay, because I was
Patrick
like,
Swayze. Yeah. Patrick Swayze, my whatever. So either way, he's so like, he's the Roadhouse guy. He's man's man. He's every man's man. Everyone loves him. And then he can be this soft.
Swayze.
Yeah, and he can be this soft, gentle character, and just the way that he portrays. He
has range, apparently.
Well, and all that through the whole entire movie, he just portrays Vida with such this like embodiment of, you know, that is who she's supposed to be as a trans, versus the other ones might be more drag because they play it a little bit more fun, and she's like, no, this is who I am. Like, she plays it more of the trans character, and it was just the way he plays it is just so beautiful. I wish I could find the stupid post, but of course I can't. I thought I saved it, but I didn't, apparently.
He got that role by improvising a 30-minute monologue inspired by the bullying he suffered as a boy studying ballet in Texas.
See? Yeah. We all draw inspiration from somewhere.
So your little note that you have at the bottom here about Joshua Jackson.
So this was actually about his. He said this. So I was watching this. He was doing, you know, they do those things like Debbie or whatever, where the actors go back and talk about all of their previous careers and everything like that. And he actually was talking about the specific character from Cruel Intentions, about how like nowadays,
he was in, by the way.
Yeah, he's like an actor. He's like, I'm not a gay actor, and he's like, I didn't want to, but he's like, I'm glad I did that character now, and I'm glad I did them proud and everything. But he literally made his own, like, he was like, yeah, that would never happen nowadays.
I just think it's funny that we can't mention Cruel Intentions without talking about that infamous fucking kiss. I mean, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Selma Blair,
right? Like both, like that movie twofer, like again.
Yeah.
And it
just, oh my god.
Which goes to show you as well the fact that everyone remembers the lesbian kiss, but no one remembers Joshua Jackson and the blackmailing this other gay guy part.
There you go. There you fucking go.
So exactly. There you go, right there. Like, that's
apparently relevant still.
The statement of the century.
I apologize, guys. On behalf of my stupid past self, I apologize.
Exactly.
But speaking of Pride Week, you know, I am super proud of Rumor Wilson. She just recently came out, and I couldn't be happier for her.
Well, she came out that she's in a relationship. I don't know if she full out said that she was actually gay. I knew she said that she was in a female relationship, but did she say she was actually gay?
I don't think she needs to, because she's not about labels.
Oh, that's what I mean. So I'm saying, like, as she may not even be gay. She's just like, currently, I am just in a female-based relationship. That is what it.
Yeah, I didn't say she came out as gay. I just said she came out. Why won't you let me search anything?
See? You save something and you find something, and then you try to find it later and you can't freaking find it. It makes me so angry. Damn you, technology.
Oh, Rumor Willis, not Rumor Wilson. Duh. Rebel. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with my brain today? Did I say Rumor Wilson? Or did I say
I
Rebel
think
Wilson?
you might have said Rumor Wilson.
Wow.
I didn't even.
Sorry.
I caught the Wilson, so I was like, I knew, and I know exactly. The problem is because I know who you're talking about, so I just didn't even pay attention that you said the wrong thing. Story of my life. When people are talking about it, I just don't correct them because I'm like, oh, I know exactly what you're doing, who and what you're talking about. I don't need to correct you.
Kind of like when you spell a word wrong or miss some letters and stuff, but you know what word they're talking about, right? Or like what they meant.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't need to do this anymore.
Ramona Agruma, she is a jewelry designer, and they look very happy. So congratulations to the two of you.
There's just so much love
so much love in this world. I really wish that love would come to the forefront more than hate does. But it's unfortunate that hate generally wins out in things in media. Because anger and hate is just an easier emotion for people to feel, or it's an easier emotion to remember. Like, I don't know. It's an easier emotional state to be controlled in. Mm-hmm. When you're in an emotional state, it's hard for you to control your, like, I know for me, like when I get angry or if I get sad or upset, like my emotions and all of my common sense goes right out the fucking window. Mm-hmm. And it would be a lot easier to manipulate me in an angry state or in a sad state, which is really fucking sad to say, but that's kind of how media works. It is. I mean, it's for the media, for the masses, right? That's what we're totally other different ballpark. We're not but nonetheless, there is, but what you're saying is still valid. Like there was so much media portrayal of homosexuals as negative for a long time, in a long time. Now and I'm really thought of them as negative or in a bad way for so long. Have you seen? I don't know if you've seen it on Facebook. I've seen it on Facebook of this new show called First Blood, where there's love between a vampire and a slayer. No. Do you know what I got upset about? I wasn't upset that the vampire and the slayer are both female. I was upset that there was a fucking slayer because there's only one goddamn slayer and it's Buffy. But then I remembered, oh yeah, in season 7, she started the Buffy school or something or whatever. And now all of Chosen are born with their chosen power. So they're all fucking slayers now. So I guess that I was wrong. So yeah. I think that's just funny because that's what I drew to. I didn't draw to the fact that they're lesbians. I didn't really fucking give a shit. It's the fact that it was like, oh, there's a slayer and it's not Buffy. What? How dare they replace my slayer? That's what I care about. Yeah. Right? I know. And it's at the point now where you're like, I'm not offended by the gayness. I'm offended by the incorrectness of the, you're changing my childhood is what it is. Like, it's like Kendra, the vampire slayer. No, it was always Buffy, bitches. Like, don't change it. I don't care that she's a lesbian. I just care that it is not Buffy. Like, I know. But I do love that there's a lot more shows out. And do you know who we haven't given props to yet? I know Queer Eye. This is true. Oh yeah, I forgot. Queer Eye was very with Carson Kressley back then, like the original one. Sex and the City came out with a very strong homosexual front. Like Stanford and Anthony and Samantha. Anthony was a few seasons later, but Stanford was right out, and even still, but you're in New York, so it's fashion designers. They're all gay. Like it's always fashion's been a gay influence kind of thing as well. So when you're dealing with New York and fashion, you're gonna naturally have some gay characters in that area. So yeah, like Sex and the City, also a big forefront gay TV show. Yeah. When I think of Sex and the City and I think of Anthony, the only line that I ever remember him saying is where it's like, sex is like showering. If you can't remember the last time you did it, it's been too long. Yeah. That's what he said. He's like 7 minutes, like his is like 7 minutes ago in the gym or whatever. I was like, yeah, it was like, yeah, something like that. And he's talking to Charlotte. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good one, but I just want to say my final thoughts on this is that I love the way that Pride is going. I love that people are becoming more and I hate the word tolerant. I really do. Yeah. Because I feel like you shouldn't need to be tolerant of them. They should just be like everyone else. You know what? How about I tolerate you straight people? Why don't I have tolerance for you? Like, I agree. Like it's a weird thing it's a weird word to say. I have love for the LGBTQ community. And if you guys need a safe space, just reach out to us. We'll be your safe space. Right. If your parents kick you out and disown you for being who you are, come have Christmas and Thanksgiving at our house. We will accept you into our family. We will be your mom. We are always open. I don't have any children. I've open to fostering or adopting. Why not? We are always here to help. We love
We love love.
Yeah.
You know, like,
but just be kind, be accepting.
no
Just
no judgment.
judge people by their character and how they treat you, not based on who they are.
Yeah. And not what they can offer you.
Yes.
Not what people can offer you, just by who they are and how they can
What
help make you better.
The joy
I know that
they
sounds
can
funny. Yeah. Like how they can make you better. Yeah.
Yes.
Those are the people you want to surround yourself with and have love with.
Yes.
And, you know.
So show your pride, guys. Be an ally. Be there. Stand up to the bullshit of the intolerant and the bigotry and the homophobia, and just have their backs.
Yeah.
Because they still need it.
Because they can't, if they're too afraid to speak, like I say it all the time, if you can't speak for you, I'm straight, I know it, and I have no problem speaking for your half. Because what is someone going to say to me? You want to make fun of me for it? Yeah, I'm standing up for a gay person. I have no problem with that. And I'm comfortable, they're comfortable, get the hell out of here. I have no problem yelling in your face if they can't do it.
I've stood up plenty of times to bullies in public where I'm just like, you don't have to fucking talk to that person like that. And I don't even know the situation. I don't know what they're being bullied for. I have no fucking clue. I don't give a shit. You don't treat each other like that.
I did it in a work setting. I was dealing with some military person, and they had made a comment about something, because all I had was he or she or her as in my signature. That's all it was. And he was like, "Oh, this is woke. Woke. No, we don't do business with no companies. No woke, no broke." And I was like, or no woke, go broke. And I was like, hold the phone, motherfucker. Obviously did it in a professional manner, but it was funny because I saw it come in, and then literally I was like, ran to Kevin, and I was like,
this is gonna be interesting.
We're not going to deal with this tonight. We're going to deal with this tomorrow morning, but we're going to talk about this for the rest of tonight, so I know what to say to this asshole on the way back. And I included my manager on it, and then he came back, same huge other long blurb, and then my manager's like, "I got this." I'm like, "Fine." But just so you know, I wasn't going down swinging, and I was like, whatever your perspective is, I'm sorry, but this is a company that is open, and we want everyone to be seen and accepted. And if you don't want to do business with us, that's your prerogative.
That's another thing that I love. I'm seeing a lot more companies having the backs of the LGBT community and everything like that, and seeing it on Facebook. And then I immediately click on the comments because I want to fucking rip homophobia as a new one too. And I see some of the comments, and I see a lot of people standing up for the community and talking back to these bigots and all these fucking douchebags and all of that. And I fucking love it. I absolutely love how big the allies and the community has become. Yeah. Like, love is slowly winning, and we have to keep our momentum going.
Yeah. And as best said by David, it's not about the wine, or it's not about the label, it's about the wine.
Includes our pride talk. I do want to take
known to sample a rosé.
I want to take a quick second, like literally a quick second, because I'm running out of time. Thoughts on the trial of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? What are your thoughts?
I mean, as women, it is a slippery slope, because you never want a girl, if she's honestly telling the truth, to necessarily lose her case and not want to be okay with her. But I also feel, just from previous history of my knowledge of Amber Heard, she's never really been my favoriteest person, and a great person at that, from my knowledge of previous musings. I know people can change and stuff like that, but still. So I feel like she was not honest the whole time, and so I feel like yay for him. But again, for women who have been sexually assaulted, and
I agree.
It's a very slippery slope for this case.
I do agree. However, I also think that a lot of people, especially Johnny's fans and people who aren't even fans of Johnny, just saw through her. Yeah. I really think that I went through a lot of comments. I talked to a lot of people on Facebook about this trial, and a lot of the women especially were saying how much they despise Amber for basically setting women back, because she, like, again, they're not the jury. They weren't there. They don't know what happens. It goes behind closed doors. This is all hearsay, whatever. We don't know what really fucking happened.
Right.
But if she is lying and she really wasn't truthful and all of that, lying about being domestically violence against is just disgusting. And I think that's why so many people hated her. Like, I was at work and I was listening to the trial live as it's going. I'm reciting the judgment's calls to the people that I'm working with. And I remember being like, fuck yes, he fucking won.
And on the other thing I also
I did not fucking believe her.
Oh, I know. And the other thing I also find, like, if it was a case where they're like a full-on definitive case where she was flat out 100% found lying wrong, she should suffer every consequence, because we have had so many instances where men get called out, even if it was not even founded, and their careers are done, they're over because of the current cancel culture. But yet girls, like case in point, Cardi B, she flat out said that when she was a stripper, she used to drug guys and steal money and all of basically kind of like same thing, like sexually almost assault type things.
And nothing happened.
Nothing happened to her. How is that equal rights?
Weinstein, Cosby.
And I get that these guys, those men were horrible. They did horrible things, and they were finally held accountable. But if she flat out admitted it, she's now admitting and she's accountable. She should be held responsible.
And I'm pretty sure she hasn't fully been cut from Aquaman 2 either. She's been cut back. A lot of her scenes were cut, but I don't think she's fully out of it.
Yeah, she doesn't know for sure what the status is. Or at least
and I don't know how I feel about Jason Momoa supporting her. I'm not sure how I feel about that. He's free to choose what he chooses, and I mean, he personally.
You gotta think exactly. They were working on a film together, so maybe that's why they have a different friendship that we know of, and And if you think about like, would you want all of your friends to leave you in a situation like this? Like, you kind of like.
No, but it really makes you wonder what type of person she actually really is in person.
Right. That too.
Like, I think she's ruined. Like, she's not ever. I don't think she's ever going to be in another movie again. Like, I don't think anyone's going to want to, because of the fans' reaction to this case. I don't think anyone's going to want to hire her, because people will be like, oh, boycott anything Amber Heard is in, because she has more haters than she has fans right now. And I don't think any studio or any agency is going to want to risk that. She's going to need something really good or someone very powerful and influential to get her career going again.
Yeah.
I think. But yay, go Johnny. Woo. I was always on Johnny's side. I was always team Johnny.
I kind of was too, because I was just like, you were with Vanessa Paradis forever, and they're never really
even when Nona came to his defense, like,
right? Like,
yeah.
And I understand, like, right now there was like towards the end he had a little issues because he had a drug problem, because he had an injury from pirates and stuff like that during their relationship. So yes, it might have altered
drug
him.
Addict does not make you an abuser.
I was gonna say it might have altered him a little bit, so maybe a little more irritable, but it shouldn't make you it shouldn't change you completely, like, to your core of who you are. Agree.
Sorry, I was just wanted to pick your brain about that, because I know we hadn't really talked about it with the trial.
Right. Yeah, like I said,
it's current events. Point is, everyone should be innocent until proven guilty. None of this, like, being jailed until you're like all of that crap, like
all of this thing. Yeah.
Anyway, so enjoy your Pride Month, guys.
Yes, enjoy the rest of Pride Month, and we will see you guys
festivities. Wear your rainbows high.
Yes, and in 2 weeks we will be back celebrating. Are we allowed to celebrate?
Last birthday ever.
We're celebrating Lindy's last birthday ever.
I'm never turning 40, so I will be 39 forever.
So on that note, in 2 weeks, we are having a birthday celebration. So,
birthday.
Right? Birthday. So find us on Spotify, Instagram, rate, review us, all of that fun stuff. You can find us on YouTube.
To our YouTube channel.
You can find us on millennialspod.com, and we will enjoy your Pride Month and wear those colors, and we will see you for a party next week or 2 weeks.
We will check you out in July.
What? And that will be actually Canada Day as well, on top of Lindy's birthday. So happy birthday, Canada, that day as well.
And Stranger Things premiere volume 2.
Oh, okay, that too. So enjoy.
The most important thing ever.
Yeah, so if you don't listen to us on July 1st, we understand why.
Because I'll be watching Stranger Things.
Right?
All 5.5 hours of it, all in a row.
And on that note, we'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you liked it, be sure to check out our previous episodes on our website at www.millennialspod.com. And also, you can check them out on Spotify, Anchor, Google, or Apple Podcasts. While you're there, hit the follow and subscribe buttons so you can stay up to date on all of our latest episodes. Also, you can follow us on all of the socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at Turn of the Millennials Pod, and like us on Facebook to leave a comment and a review. We greatly appreciate it. We will see you next episode.